It's that time again. It's time for another video game collection update, and I do these like every 2 months. And I got another stack of games to go over here with you that I've picked up over the last 2 months. There's not quite as many, but we do have a little stack here. What's going on, Grim Crew? Welcome back to the channel. And again, I do this every 2 months, and you know my pickups throughout the 2 months. And it's kind of interesting that this is right off the heels of Sony announcing that as of January of 2028, no more physical games. Well, I still want my physical games, and I'm going to still keep collecting for the platforms that I do have. I did talk about that in a bit of detail. If you want to see that, that video is here on the channel, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the physical games that I did pick up. And I've got, in the month of May, I picked up several from a couple different places. And in the month of June, my good friends at Secret Level hooked me up with several more titles. So we're going to jump right into them. So starting with the month of May, and actually I have these backwards. We need to go this way. Starting in the month of May, you know, I had noticed that, and this is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while too, is the fact that, you know, trying to collect for the PS Vita is somewhat difficult for me, because there's not a vast library for the Vita to start with, and the types of games that I'm interested in and the types of games that I'm into, that list is even shorter yet. So but I did find a couple, and one series that I started collecting that unfortunately as it stands right now I won't be able to get all of the games in that series, because there's one in particular on a platform that I don't even own and probably will not own, but I've been trying to collect as many of these as I could because I've been getting into them and I really enjoy them. So on the PS Vita, first pickup of the month, Dead or Alive 5 Plus, again on the PS Vita. You know, no little manuals or nothing, but you know, we got everything here that's supposed to be. Found this one on eBay. This one cost a little bit. This one was $48.37. This one I actually did do a stream on recently. I was able to play through the entire story mode, the odd story mode that is present in this game, but I did enjoy it regardless, and you know, this is one that I did have some fun with, and it makes me really want to get a little bit more into the Dead or Alive games. Now this game, or this version, I believe when I looked it up, came out around the time that the original release of the game came out, so this doesn't have the DLC characters, and it's missing like tag team battles, things like of that nature. But for the most part, everything is here from the original release on the Vita. And as far as playing it on the Vita, I feel like it looks good, it sounds good, I think it plays pretty smooth. Overall, I did enjoy this game. So you can check out that live stream replay if you'd like. But that was the first pick of the month. And another one for the Dead or Alive collection and for the PS Vita collection. Next up, I've always heard a lot about this game, and I was never a big WCW guy growing up. You know, during the Monday Night Wars, I was a WWF guy. But as far as the wrestling games, I always hear this one mentioned. I hear it mentioned a lot. And so I went into my closest like retro game store one day, and they happened to have this copy, and so I decided to pick it up. On the Nintendo 64, we got WCW NWO Revenge, and you know, again, I always hear how, you know, beloved this particular wrestling game is amongst wrestling game fans. And so for a price of $10.89, I thought, what the hell, I'll pick it up and I'll add it to the collection. I'll do a stream on it at some point. and we'll check this game out. So, you know, if it plays anything similar to the WrestleMania 2000 or something like that, regardless of if I was a WCW fan or not, should have fun with this one. So we now have that on the N64. Pretty happy about that. And that same day, also at Replay, I picked up yet another PS Vita game. And this one, I'm not sure how much I'm really going to get into it. I've never been a huge fan of this series. But just trying to look for something else to play on the Vita, I decided to pick it up. And for the price that I found it, I thought that it was worth picking up. So again, on the PS Vita, we've got Mortal Kombat. And, you know, again, I'm not a huge Mortal Kombat fan. I've tried playing some of the older ones, some of the original ones from back in the day over the last couple of years, and they're stupid hard as far as I'm concerned. And with the exception of, you know, 2 or 3 characters, I'm not really even a huge fan of a lot of the characters in this series. You know, I don't hate it, but I prefer other fighting game series, specifically Tekken. Compared to Mortal Kombat's. But picked this one up for $20.89. I thought that was a pretty decent price, and again, it was at least something else to add to the Vita collection, and may do a stream on this at some point also, so we'll be able to check that out. But at least another Vita game to the collection, and another fighting game. So pretty excited to have at least a couple more Vita titles now in the collection. From there, on just on a whim, I stopped at another local game store called Reg Retro. I've picked up a couple things from there over the last year or two, and I just stopped in there just to browse, see what I could find, and something caught my eye, and I haven't picked anything up on the original NES in quite some time. And I don't really even have any on my list, but this one just stuck out to me. Figured I'd grab it and give it a try. On the NES, we've got Bigfoot, and I've only played this for a minute or two. I just put it in the system just to make sure that it would work, you know, just to test it. An interesting little racing game, and I was like, hey, Bigfoot, you know, Monster Trucks Bigfoot, I mean, that's cool. You know, it's done by Acclaim. That could be either good or bad. The minute or two I played of it, it was kind of like, it's okay, I suppose. I mean, maybe I just need to put some more time into it. I don't know if it's really any good or not, you know, realistically. But picked this one up just on a whim, and I believe I overpaid for it. I paid $16.75. I'm not really sure it would really be worth that. But what's done is done. And so, with that, we got Bigfoot on the NES, and at least added something to the NES collection for the first time in quite some time. From there, I stopped at a game store that's a bit north of me, and I've done at least a video or two of me stopping in there. And actually, no. This was, I don't remember if I did a pickups video, a game hunting video for this or not. I actually don't remember now. If I did, I'll link it. But this was actually a new location. So Game Pawn. And I've gone to a Game Pawn a couple times, but they had a brand new location that opened up, and I wanted to see what they got. So I walked in there and walked out with a couple of things. And first up, this is something else that I've recently acquired and wanted to start collecting some games for. So on the Sega Master System, we've got Action Fighter. And Action Fighter is one of those games that I have a very foggy, vague memory of playing when I was a very, very small child. Upon purchasing one of the other Master System games that I bought, it had a poster in it, and when I looked at that poster, I seen like a little screenshot of this game on there. I'm like, I remember that. I think I remember that. I looked it up, and it was, lo and behold, you know what? Yes, I remember that game. And so I just had to have a copy of it. This is a shooter, and it's interesting because your vehicle morphs into a couple different vehicles. You start out as a motorcycle, that motorcycle turns into a car, that car turns into a plane, and it's I think a very interesting shooter. This one is complete in box and in phenomenal shape. This one still has the hang tab, everything, nothing wrong with this whatsoever, so I'm very happy to have this in my collection. Picked this one up for $21.09. So I haven't played much of it, but I have played it for a few minutes, and one of the cool things with this one and the next thing I'm about to show you, my folks came by some time ago, and I told them that I've got the converter for the Master System, and I picked up a couple games, and my mom and dad sat down and played a few minutes of this and the next game, and it was just one of those cool moments, because these are some games that they played years ago and have now got to play for the first time in probably 30 years. So just one of those little small memories that I'll be able to always have now. It was a really fun thing. But yes, Action Fighter, complete in box, on the Sega Master System, and I've been debating on if I want to do streams on Master System games. I typically do 3.5-hour streams at least. I don't know if a 3.5-hour stream on something like Action Fighter would be something that would be all that exciting for people to watch. So let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see some gameplay from some Master System games. But now for the Master System collection, we've got Action Fighter, complete in box and in wonderful condition, so I'm pretty happy about that. Up next, also from Game Pawn, and again on the Master System, complete in box and again in phenomenal shape, we've got Enduro Racer. Again, complete in box. This one also has the poster inside as well, so I think I want to get me another frame, hang that on the wall here somewhere. That would just be a cool little thing. But this is another one that my folks played years and years ago, that once I seen some screenshots and played it for a couple minutes just to test it, as the memory comes rushing back. The memory I didn't remember, didn't know that I had. And, it's like, well, yeah, I distinctly remember this, and so to have this is really cool. And my folks being able to play it, again after all these years for a few minutes, it was a lot of fun, and again something that a memory I'm gonna cherish for quite a while going forward. This one, exact same price, $21.09, but again in phenomenal shape. Complete in box, and to have Enduro Racer, another one of those long lost memories in my collection, I'm very, very happy about that. And finally, whoops, now I'm dropping stuff. Finally, the last game I picked up that day at that Game Pawn, a Game Boy game. And Game Boy is something else that I don't add to the collection very often. I don't have a Game Boy per se. But I do have the Super Game Boy for the SNES, and so I've been able to play some old school Game Boy games that way. And really, growing up, I've only got like some nostalgia for a few, like handful of Game Boy games, because I didn't play a lot of them, but the ones that I did play, I played to death. So don't know the Game Boy library all that much. This one's kind of neat, because on the label here, it's got the Super Game Boy logo on it. So, with the Super Game Boy and certain games that go with the Super Game Boy, they got added colors or special borders, things of that nature. So it's kind of enhanced on the Super Game Boy. And so now, for that collection, James Bond 007. I, again, only played a minute or two of this just to test it, and it's interesting. it's a little strange. I'm not sure if I'm really going to be able to get into this one, but the fact that it is like somewhat enhanced a little bit on the Super Game Boy, that's pretty exciting. That's kind of cool that, you know, there's a little bit of added things because of that with the Super Game Boy. So pick this one up for $16.09. Again, I don't know if it's really any good or not, if I'm really going to be able to get into this one or not, but I'm at least excited to try it, you know, at some point. Really sit down for a few hours and really put some time into it. But so we've got that as well. And finally, last game that I picked up in the month of May, a brand new title. And this one I was really excited about once I saw the trailers, a gameplay trailer, and just something that really piqued my interest that I wanted to play right away. And I was able to do that. And going along with the 007 theme, on the PS5 we've got 007 First Light. And I did a full playthrough of this on stream. The live stream replays are here on the channel. You can watch this playthrough if you'd like, if it's something that you may be interested in. I really enjoyed this game. I wasn't sure how much I was going to like it going in. This is more of like an origin story of our boy James Bond, and I wasn't sure exactly how they were going to do it and if I was really going to enjoy it that much. But the gameplay changes up here and there with some driving sections, some action sections, some stealth sections, and then they really kept I think they did the character of James Bond very well. There's still those, you know, the one-liners. He's still got that suave nature to him at certain points. You know, there's the gadgets. There's, you know, being able to actually go down to Q Branch and like mess with a bunch of his gadgets and, you know, fiddle around with stuff or whatever. Just a lot of fun, and I know some people don't care for this, but it's like, well, it's too much like a movie, and I don't want to play a movie. Well, this definitely felt at times with some of the cinematics and with, you know, being able to interact with stuff, again, specifically like in Q's lab and stuff, that it had a somewhat of a movie feel to it at times, which to me is amazing. I love when games do that. This did a lot of what I love in games. You know, with the story, the narrative, the dialogue, the way it was delivered. We see some character development in this. Just overall, I thought this was a fantastic game. And even though I have the nostalgia and the love for GoldenEye on the N64, I'd be willing to go out on a limb here and say this may be my favorite 007 that I've ever played, and that's counting GoldenEye. That's counting Everything or Nothing. I really enjoyed this. This is the exact type of game that I want more of, and I really enjoyed this. But I picked this one up. Obviously, this was a GameStop. I bought it brand new, so with tax and all, $74.19. Easily the most expensive thing that I picked up over the course of the 2 months, but worth every penny as far as I'm concerned. Really enjoyed this game. Had a lot of fun with it. So that is the pickups for the month of May. So we add all that together, that comes down to $229.36. So a little bit, you know, down a little bit from what I had been spending, but that's good. And I'm trying to, you know, reduce how much I've been spending lately for a reason I will talk about here in just a few moments. So that closed out the month of May. And so moving on now to the month of June. June was the month of pickups at my at Secret Level. My friends at Secret Level really hooked me up on a couple different occasions. And I got several things that I was able to add to a couple of collections that I'm very happy with. So starting off with, I I went up there, and I believe my brother and I went once again. It's turning into almost like our home base as far as retro game stores go. He really enjoys the place. I really enjoy the place. Staff is awesome, and their selections are amazing. So we walked in, and I think I picked up 3 games on this particular day. First up, adding one to a collection that I'm trying to complete, and I think at this point there's only a spin-off or 2 that I would like to pick up to kind of complete this collection. But on the PlayStation 2, we've got Tekken 5. And Tekken 5 here, that is complete in box. And I had put off picking this one up for a while because it seems like this was one of the more expensive Tekkens. And I couldn't understand why, and it wasn't until that I bought this, I put this in the system, and I tested it where I think I finally figured out why. I believe we had this when we were younger, but I haven't had it in so long I forgot. There is a history section in the game in the main menu, and it allows you to play Tekken's 1, 2, and 3 arcade modes all on this disc. And when you fire the game up, there's a shooter that you can play at the very beginning. And if you do something in one of the modes, you do something specific in one of the modes, it actually unlocks that full arcade game to play as well. So really, with Tekken 5 and with that history section, you're kind of almost getting like 5 games in one in a sense. So again, 1, 2, and 3 Tekkens, they're not the full game, it's just the arcade modes, but the fact that they're there and they're playable is pretty awesome. So I'm very happy to have this, and I'm looking forward to diving into Tekken 5 a little bit more here in the near future. And this one cost $37.30. So again, a little on the pricier side, but I have that now, and that's one of the last ones for the mainline games that I really need. I think it was the last of the mainline Tekkens that I needed to start completing that collection. So also that same day, we added a couple more Master System games to the collection. One that I'm excited to get into and play here hopefully pretty soon. Maybe do a one-off stream of this as well. Sega Master System, we've got Double Dragon. I like my beat-em-up games. It's one of my favorite genres, and I enjoy Double Dragon. I believe this is another one of those ones that I played when I was very young. And several years ago, well, not several, but a couple years ago when I got the NES and I got a copy of Double Dragon, I was excited. I get to play some Double Dragon again, and I popped it in, and I was like, this is not what I remember. It's Double Dragon, but I don't remember this as Double Dragon. Well, I believe it was this one, actually, that I remembered from my childhood. This one not quite in as good a condition as the others. It is missing the hang tab, unfortunately, and it's got a couple defects, but overall it's not terrible. And this one also complete in box. I'm very, very excited to have this one. I've been trying to also add some other Double Dragons to my collection. Just a huge fan of beat-em-up games, and I like my Double Dragon. And to have this in the collection now, I'm pretty excited about. This one ran $27.29. So we was able to add that one. Next up, this one has a little bit of a story to it. So another game that I found during that game hunting trip, I'd been looking for a while. It's been on my list for a while, and I've been wanting one, and so I picked up Outrun on the Sega Master System. And this one, again, complete in box. Again, this one also has the poster in it. There's only one major problem with it, and I noticed it right away. At some point, somebody had cut off the back cover and replaced it with a black and white printed out version. And as soon as he pulled it out of the case, the display case, I grabbed a hold of it, I looked at him like, oh, that's disappointing. And he's like, what is? And I showed him, I was like, you see this crease right here? You can see where it was cut, and it's replaced with this black and white, like, printout. And he's like, wow, I didn't even notice that. That really sucks. Like, yeah, not too happy about that. And I think this one had a price tag of, I don't know, $20 or something on it, I think. And so when I said, oh, that's disappointing, and I showed him, the owner, he says, well, how about this? If you want it, because of that, I'll give it to you for $10. I'm like, So I'm like, I really got to think about that. But I didn't say that. I was like, And before I even got a really chance to think about it, he said, how about $8? I said, you know what? This or not, $8 for, otherwise complete in box Outrun. $8, yeah, I'll take it, And so I decided to pick it up. He rung me up, and I headed home. And it wasn't until I was adding stuff to price charting that I looked at the receipt and I realized that he didn't ring this game up at all. He rung up the Double Dragon and the Tekken 5, but this was not on the receipt. So I didn't pay anything for this. Now, on one hand, it's like, well, that's pretty awesome, but there's a part of me that I didn't feel right about that, They've hooked me up a couple times. They're really cool guys, and I don't really want to feel like I'm ripping somebody off. I don't appreciate it that somebody does something like that to me, right? And I'm sure it's just a genuine mistake, I'm sure. So I went up there again and found a couple other games, but I told him, I said, the other day when I was in here, it was probably a week after, I said, you remember that Outrun that had that cover that was messed up? He said, yeah. Remember how we agreed on $8? Absolutely. So, well, you didn't ring it up. It wasn't on my receipt at all. And I just thought I'd let you know, and I feel like I still need to pay for it, So if you want to, add another $8 to one of these other games I'm about to pick up, and at least, give you your money, I'll at least, make sure I pay for it. And he was for sure that he rung it up, and I had to assure him that no, on that receipt there was only 2 games, there wasn't 3. And he said, well, you know what, I really appreciate your honesty. That means a lot to me. So I'll tell you what, because of that mistake and because your honesty, I tell you what, we'll meet in the middle. How about $4? Like, if you're fine with that, then that's fine. At least I'm paying for it. So with that long story, what this all comes down to: Outrun, Sega Master System, complete in the box, with the poster, even though the back cover is the way it is. $4 is what this cost me. So at some point I may actually still try to replace the case, but for $4 I can't really complain. I've been wanting an Outrun for quite a while, but Outrun, for whatever reason, seems to be stupid expensive. Like the ones on the Genesis and even some of the other ones, like I think there was one on the Xbox and PS2 or something like that, and just Outruns, for whatever reason, are a bit pricey. So, to have at least one Outrun game in my collection now, and for the price that I paid for it, I can't complain. I'm very happy to have this in my collection, and I might just have to, try to replace the case or something at some point. But for now, that's what we got, and for $4, I can't complain. So after that, I was fortunate enough to finally get my first payout from Twitch. It's only been like 2.5 years. But I don't have a huge following over there. But yes, I stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights, guys. Hang out with me. I play all types of games over there, and we have a good time. But I got my first payout which was like $51 and some change or something. So I decided, you know what? I made this money with games. I'm going to spend that money on games. So I went back to Secret Level and picked up some more things with that payout. So I want to say to my Twitch supporters, thank you very much for that. That has allowed me to add some more things to my collection. That allowed me to get a couple other things for this hobby that I really enjoy. So thank you very much for that. It's very much appreciated. First thing that I picked up that particular day, added something to the PSP collection. We've got the Sega Genesis collection. And I've got something like this on the PS3 already. And of course I've got the Genesis, and I've got several of these games on the Genesis. But now, being able to take this on the go with me, it's very exciting because it's got some of my favorite Sega Genesis games on there. We've got Comix Zone. We've got the original Sonic the Hedgehog. We've got Golden Axe. We've got my favorite Sega Genesis game, Kid Chameleon, is on here. We've got other things like Columns, Virtua Fighter 2, Vectorman 1 and 2, Gain Ground. We got all types of games. There's like 28 or 30 games or something like that on here. And so now to be able to have this, play this on the go, that's pretty awesome. And this one is complete in box, and I'm super excited to be able to have all these games on a handheld now and be able to take them wherever I go if I want to. This one, with tax and everything, was $16.18. So 16 bucks and some change, basically to add, and it's actually also does have bonus arcade games too that you can unlock. So we're talking probably 30 plus games for 16 bucks. I mean, how can you complain with that, right? So excited and very happy to have that on the PSP now. Speaking of the PSP, that same day, I also added another one to the collection. I did a one-off stream of the first game in this series just not long back, and I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I want to actually get into that game a little bit more than what I've been able to up to this point, but we've got the next one. So on the PSP, we've got Untold Legends, The Warrior's Code. And Untold Legends, there's 3 of them. There's the 2 on the PSP, and there's 1 on the PS3. Untold Legends is just something I don't hear anybody ever talk about. And when I played some of the other one, which was Brotherhood of the Blade, I said, if I knew that this game was a thing, when I owned a PSP when I was younger, I would have played the death out of this because I really enjoyed it. It reminded me a lot of one of my favorite PS2 games, which is Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, I'm going to pick up the other one as well. And so they had a copy of it there. This one also, complete in box. And this one only cost me $11.18. So now with that actually completes the Untold Legends trilogy for me. I have all 3 of them now. I did play the one-off on the other game. I'm going to do a one-off at least of this and of the other one on the PS3. But this completes that trifecta, and so I'm excited to get into this. If I enjoyed the first one as much as I did, I should enjoy this one quite a bit too. So we have that on the PSP also. So we're able to add a couple PSP games to the collection this month. And finally, the last game I picked up that particular day, I added something else to the original Xbox, and I guess on the same vein of those top-down dungeon crawlers. On the original Xbox, we got Dungeons & Dragons Heroes, and this one looks pretty similar to, once again, to like a Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, which I really enjoyed. I don't know anything about this particular game. I only watched maybe 5 minutes of a YouTube video of it just to see what kind of gameplay it was, and I was like, that seems like that'd be right up my alley. And so it's been on my list for a while. Finally found a copy of it and was able to pick it up. Also complete in box. So happy about that. It's in pretty solid condition. This one here ran me $19.19. So another top-down dungeon crawler that I'm excited to have in the collection now. And the only thing that I actually added to the Xbox collection over the course of these 2 months, but something that I should get some enjoyment out of, I think. So we'll maybe do a live stream of that at some point as well. And then that following week after that, I do have Secret Level on social media, on Facebook. And they post updates all the time, of new things that they have in their shop. And they had an update, and there were 2 games that were on my list that they had front and center in the pictures. And I thought to myself, I need to go down and snag those, and I need to do it quick. So, first, on the PS4, once again, adding to one of the series that I've been collecting for. On the PlayStation 4, we've got Dead or Alive 5 Last Round. This one, which I don't think there's a lot of games on the PS4 that have this, but this one even has a manual to it. So this one is complete in box. Pretty excited about that. I like having my manuals and having complete in box stuff, and if there's a PS4 game that's supposed to have that, I want it. This one was complete. Very happy about that. Of course, this is the last round version. This should have, a bunch of the extra goodies, the characters, enhanced graphics. I think it's got newer stages compared to some of the other releases, the other versions of this game. I know I just played 5 Plus on the Vita. But I also wanted it on the PS4, found a really nice complete in box copy, and I just thought I had to have it. This one was $37.49, and again, it adds something else, another to my Dead or Alive collection. So happy to have that. And speaking of Dead or Alive, I know that I think just as a couple of days ago, there was a last round version of 6 that was released, and I was holding out for that. I was going to pick up a copy on the PS4, just the original version, and I thought, oh, well, if there's that last round version coming out for the PS5, that's the one that I want. And then I saw the fact that it was going to be digital only, and I said, well, so much for that. Looks like I need to go and get me that physical copy of the PS4 one after all. So it got added back to my list. And, on the same vein of everything that's going on now with Sony and PlayStation and no more physical media, I decided, you know what, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that digital copy. I got to have the physical. And now apparently this is the only way for me to do it. So, once again, as I picked up 5 at Secret Level that day, they also had 6 for the PS4. So I was able to snag both of these in the same day and add both of these to my collection. No manual or nothing for this one, unlike the 5, but this one was also in very solid shape. This one ran me $32.48. I did play a little of that free-to-play download version of it. And I was like, you know what, I would like to have the full version, and I was able to add that now. So with these 2 purchases, I now have almost all of the Dead or Alive games. I do have some version of 1 and 2 on the original Xbox. I've got 3 for the original Xbox, and now I've got 5 Plus on the Vita, and 5 Last Round, and 6. The only one that I don't have is 4, and evidently the only physical release that I could find for that is on the Xbox 360, and I don't own an Xbox 360, and I can't get myself to be okay with getting an Xbox 360. I just feel like it would be a betrayal. Already having the original Xbox, it feels wrong to me in certain ways. Unfortunately, that's probably one that's going to just be missing from my collection. But the ones that I could get, I do have now, and I'm pretty happy about that. We'll be doing some other streams of some of these other Dead or Alive games in the future. But that was the final pickup of the month of June. So 8 games in June, every single one of them from Secret Level. So shout out to Secret Level hooking me up with some deals and you know, just being good people and having a fantastic shop, a fantastic selection. You know, really enjoy going there. So all together, we add that all up, that comes down to $185.11. So again, even less than the month of May. And so if we add the 2 months together, that comes out to $414.47, which is quite a bit less than what I have been doing over a 2-month time frame. And the reason for that is I've been trying to scale back. And I'm trying to scale back because I'm going to be going on a vacation here in a couple of weeks, and there's a couple places I would like to stop at, maybe see if I can pick something up. But the big thing is next month there is a game convention that I want to go to, and I've been trying to put money away over the last several weeks, and will continue to put a little bit of money away whenever I can, so that I got some money to go to that. And it's going to be I think it's MRGE, Michigan Retro Game Expo, I believe is what it's going to be called. It's going to be up in Kalamazoo. And I'm very excited for that. I can't wait to get up there. I can't wait for that event. It's the first year that they're going to be doing it. So I hope that it's going to go well. I'm sure it will. The people that are putting it together, they have gone to conventions themselves. I think that they know what they're looking for, what they want to do with it. And I mentioned Game Pawn earlier. There's a Game Pawn out there by them, and I believe they've sponsored it. So, you know, pretty neat. And so I'm hoping that it's going to be a really awesome show. And when I do that, when I do go there and I go to that show, I will be documenting that as well. That will be here on the channel for you to watch when that happens. But that's why I've been scaling back a little bit. I want to be able to save up some money and take some money with me when I go there, so I can pick up some stuff when I go to the show. So that is the updates for the month of May and June for the physical games, the pickups for those 2 months. I've got, 16 games over the course of those 2 months, and a lot of things that have been on my list that I was able to knock down, and a lot of things that I'm happy to have in my collection now, and just very happy overall with all of these. So let me know in the comments below if there's any of these games that you'd be interested in seeing some streams on, or which of these games that you enjoy, that may be some of your favorites, if you own them, if you'd like to get copies of them yourself, or just let me know. Let me know if there's any of these games that may be some of your favorites. I would like to know that. So with that being said, that's going to be it for this particular video. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, so you don't miss out on any other content coming to the channel, whether it's the video game collection updates just like this, whether it's the live stream replays, whether it's just gaming discussion videos, whether it's retro game hunting, or just whatever it is that I decide to do. So with that being said, that's it for this one. I am D, I'm the Grim Gamer, and I'll catch you all next time.